Today, we're going to dive into the story of one of the oldest and perhaps most important kings in the entire history of the Pride Lands. This is Mohatu, the grandfather of Mufasa, the great-grandfather of Simba, and a lion whose legacy shaped the very foundation of what we know as the Circle of Life. In 1984, long before the Lion King movie ever hit theaters, a book was released called The Brightest Star. In it, a bedtime conversation unfolds between Mufasa and young Simba. And it's during this intimate moment that we hear the name Mohatu for the first time. Mufasa describes him not just as a king, but as a wise leader, a peacemaker, yet firm in his decisions. And most remarkably of all, he was said to be the largest lion ever to rule over the Pride Lands. This is his story. One quiet night, young Simba noticed a particularly large and radiant star shining in the sky. Curious, he turned to his father and asked what it meant. Without hesitation, Mufasa told him, "That star is Mohatu, a great king of the past." Simba, wide-eyed, asked how a lion becomes a star, and so Mufasa told him the legend. Long ago, during Mohatu's reign, the Pride Lands suffered a devastating drought. The rivers dried up, the grass withered, and tensions began to rise among the animals. In a time of great need, Mohatu made a difficult but wise decision. He issued a law. Each animal could only drink a limited amount of water, ensuring there would be enough for everyone. For a while it worked. Balance returned. But peace is fragile. A selfish lion, known among fans as Choyo and bearing an uncanny resemblance to Scar, defied the law. He drank more than his share, prioritizing himself over the needs of others. Word of this spread quickly, and soon chaos threatened to undo Mohatu's efforts. Rather than respond with anger or violence, Mohatu set out on a journey. He ventured beyond the Pride Lands in search of a solution. After a long and difficult trek, he discovered a river hidden deep within a jungle. It was full of water, enough to save his kingdom. But there was a problem. Lurking nearby was a crocodile. Mohatu was cautious but approached him. To his surprise, the crocodile wasn't hostile. He simply explained that no animals came to the river anymore because they were afraid. Not of the water, but of each other. Mistrust had spread like wildfire, and that fear kept them apart. Mohatu understood. It wasn't just water his kingdom needed. It was unity. Returning home, he shared what he had learned. At first, the animals argued. No one trusted the others to take only their fair share. But slowly, thanks to Mohatu's calm voice and a brave zebra who spoke up on behalf of cooperation, they agreed to try again. And then, fate intervened. As the animals finally drank from the jungle river, the zebra suddenly sank into quicksand. For a terrifying moment, it seemed hope was lost. Until the crocodile, the very creature everyone had feared, leapt forward and pulled the zebra to safety. That act of compassion changed everything. Trust bloomed. The animals began visiting the river together, peacefully. They shared, they helped, and eventually the skies broke open with rain. The Pride Lands turned green once more. Mohatu had not just solved the drought, he had healed the land itself through wisdom and kindness. Years passed. Mohatu grew old, older than any king before him, but his reign was never forgotten. On a quiet winter's evening, the mighty lion took his final breath. And that night, a star appeared in the sky. The biggest, the brightest. Everyone in the Pride Lands knew. It was Mohatu, watching over them still. As the story ended, Simba gazed up at that brilliant star. He whispered goodnight to his great-grandfather and said he hoped to be just like him someday. So who exactly was Mohatu? In the original film, Mufasa tells Simba that the great kings of the past looked down on them from the stars. And now we know Mohatu was one of them. His spirit shines down every night, guiding the generations that followed. And that brings us to a deeper mystery. Mohatu may be canon, but the official story never tells us who his children were. This opens the door to some compelling fan theories, especially about two important figures, Ahadi and Uru, the parents of Mufasa and Scar. Let's explore two possibilities. Many fans believe that Mohatu's son is Ahadi. The logic makes sense. Both lions share a similar physical build. Strong, broad, with an aura of authority. They also seem to share a similar leadership style: brave, noble, but fair. If Mufasa learned wisdom from Ahadi, then maybe Ahadi learned it from Mohatu. This theory paints a clear and royal lineage: Mohatu, then Ahadi, then Mufasa, and finally Simba. But there's another theory that complicates this. Others suggest that Mohatu's child was actually Uru, Mufasa's mother. This idea stems from the fact that Uru, though not seen much in canon material, is also associated with wisdom and diplomacy. In one version of the Lion King books, Uru embarks on a journey to help the Pride Lands during another drought, just like Mohatu did. And physically, Uru's fur color is closer to Mohatu's than Ahadi's is. That connection, plus her compassionate nature, strengthens the idea that she could be Mohatu's daughter. So, what do you think? Is Mohatu the father of Ahadi, of Uru, or maybe both? Let me know in the comments below. But until Disney gives us official answers, it's up to fans to keep these stories alive. And maybe that's the point. The spirit of the kings lives on in the stories we pass down, just like Mufasa shared Mohatu's tale with Simba. So, if you enjoyed this story and want to hear more about the lost kings and forgotten characters of the Lion King universe, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.